Monday, and it looks like it's going to be pretty nice. Maybe some clouds later on, but 73, pretty mild. Not too shabby.
Yeah, the weather was relatively awesome over the weekend.
And then more rain this week.
I saw
just
that.
what we don't need. I was driving it on Friday on the way back from Toma, and it was brutal. That rain coming down on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, chance of it looks like tomorrow. A nice Monday for most of us, but then overall we'd get some winds pick up and rain moves in tomorrow, and then maybe again later in the week. Let's hope not.
Just a short 3-day week for us. We'll be out on Thursday and Friday for the 4th of July. Make the most of it here with Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. We'll have some 4th of July stuff to get to a bit later on. Grant Bills will join us tomorrow. Of course, we'll give you a shot at my morning show money on Wednesday. We got plenty of other stuff to get to. It's July 1st, so we'll take a look at some things to look forward to in the month of July.
That's right.
Yeah.
Talked to my brother, farmer, on Saturday when we went home to a visit.
But they're having a go of it.
Yeah, I'm like, how's things? He's like, wet. And I bet. I'm talking about a bunch of his stuff that's washed out and obviously flooding down on the
water
creek.
in the middle of a field, when you're trying to...
stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was nice on Saturday, relatively nice. So we had this picnic and it was nice and got to see my family and my mom. And I was like, well, we're leaving, Steve. And he said, yep, looks like it's clouding up. Good. I was hoping it was going to rain later on today. I'm like, I'm so sorry. But yeah, hopefully we dried out just a tad over the weekend and through today before some slight chances for rain during the holiday week.
We'll get to Scott Robert Shaw in just a few minutes, plus some Foo Fighters. If you need something, get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings, Brian, Gene, and Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. And how was your weekend, sir?
It was good. Yeah, got outside, got some work done in the yard, and ran some errands, things like that.
Got to do the lawn stuff today. Was going to do it yesterday, and then I was like, I'll just wait till tomorrow. Put it off. Supposed to be a little more mild today. It was kind of steamy in the morning yesterday.
Yeah, going to be a nice day today.
Very nice.
Very nice. But then some showers tonight and tomorrow and tomorrow night. Possibly some heavy rains once again. So,
all right. Get that lawn mowed.
Good. We need it, Shaw.
Yeah, right. We sure do.
Yeah, right. What else is going on?
Well, today could be the day that the Mississippi River reaches its crest in La Crosse. The Weather Service predicts that the river could peak this afternoon at 14.7 feet. That's nearly 3 feet above the flood stage. It's measured this morning at 14.6 feet. The water's been rising slowly from an even 14 feet since late last week, and it's expected to drop back down to 14 feet by Saturday. Hurricane Beryl is closing in on the southeastern Caribbean, and government officials are pleading with people to take shelter. This Category 3 storm is expected to make landfall in the Windward Islands this morning. Hurricane warnings are in effect for Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada, Tobago, and St. Vincent. The National Hurricane Center warns that Beryl is forecast to bring life-threatening winds and storm surge. Its top sustained winds were blowing at 120 miles an hour. It was moving to the west at 20 miles per hour. President Joe Biden's family has used a Sunday gathering at Camp David to urge him to stay in the race and keep fighting. Despite his dreadful debate performance, some family members criticized the way Biden's staff prepared him for that face-off. Biden spent the day yesterday sequestered with First Lady Jill Biden, his children, and grandchildren at the presidential retreat in Maryland.
Bro, I don't think you could have prepared him any... I don't know, what do you spend more and more hours preparing him so he wouldn't sound old and confused?
Yeah, I'm not sure what they could have done there, you know?
You give him a bump before you throw him out there? I mean, I don't know what else you can do. I mean, the guy's old, and he's, kind of losing it.
It was a sharp contrast to his most recent State of the Union address, where he was very fiery and seemed very much in control, but that was very much not the case at the first debate. Groups of people being treated unequally in America should be an important issue this election year. That's according to Senator Bernie Sanders, who's been a popular candidate for president in recent elections. Sanders came to La Crosse over the weekend to lead a rally at UWL in support of Democrats running for office. He says the government should find ways to help Americans earn and keep more money and achieve more balance between the rich and poor.
When the very richest people are doing phenomenally well, while 60% of our people live paycheck to paycheck, that are experiencing right now more income and wealth inequality than we've ever had in the history of America. And I think most people are saying, in this great country, why isn't our economy working for all rather than the few?
Sanders says most people are earning less than they did 5 years ago, while the very wealthy control much of the money in America.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. Crazy that it's 4th of July already this week.
Yes, it is.
A bit later on, we'll take a look at some things to look forward to in the month of July. Now that we're in it.
Did you cook out last night, Shaw? Grill?
No, we did not cook out last night.
No?
It's a good night for it.
I made some chicken cacciatore last night. I hadn't made that in a long time.
Is there leftovers here?
I think Mary's taking them for lunch this morning.
What
this afternoon? Sorry.
Your wife and taking her own leftovers.
I know.
Jeez.
Man. We got so many leftovers in the fridge right now. The eye's bigger than the stomach, Shaw. Went out for dinner last night, had the prime rib and the lobster, and of course I chowed on the lobster real fast, and
then you were full.
I didn't. You know, the salad bar is phenomenal over at the Freight House. So I had I didn't even put lettuce in the bowl. I just got all veggies and like a little. You know, a little bit of dressing in there,
then you had the potato, and before you
no. But like. They brought me so many asparagus. They must have been trying to get rid of it. I mean, like I'm not kidding. Like, you know how asparagus comes in like
6 or 8 spears, maybe, right?
Well, normally
maybe
when you order it for a dinner,
5.
but no, when you buy it at the store, it comes in one of those. I got 2 of those, like 2 bunch size serving. Like they must have been trying to get rid of it last night, or they were like, "This dude really loves asparagus." I don't. It came and I was like, "That's a lot of asparagus." I couldn't believe it. It was wild. And the steak, of course, was ginormous, whatever. I think it was supposed to be an 8 ounce. I think I got like a 30 ounce. It was crazy. Yeah. Dogs were happy. We came home and had a little, take...
celebration.
Yeah.
I left my dog unsupervised outside of the crate on Saturday and went home to a family picnic to say goodbye to the house.
So how many hours?
By the way, the puppy's 9 months old with the other dog, and we were going to be gone. We left at 8:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. I had a friend coming over in the mid-afternoon to let them out. And then we weren't going to get home until 6 or 7.
Right,
she's been a relatively good puppy, like, for real. And it felt like all day in the crate without Otis, she'd be better off where they could snuggle on the couch or they could wrestle and play than she would having this all day thing. Yeah, came home, walked in the kitchen, and the girls had walked in before me, so they were just standing there waiting for my reaction.
Oh, no.
Two rugs shredded and torn up in the kitchen. To her credit, I don't really care about one of them, and the other one is like, okay, whatever. I guess it was my fault for leaving it like that. But 2 of them shredded, stuff everywhere, and the girls are just looking at me with their eyes like this, and I'm like, well, I guess we don't leave her out of her crate all day unsupervised anymore. So that was on me, Shaw. Bad decision with the puppy. 2 rugs shredded completely.
No. Can't trust him.
No, you can't. I thought we could. She's a good girl. No.
Our dogs just lay on the couch. They don't do anything.
She's only 9 months old. I think she got stressed.
Yeah.
Like after my friend left, and she was like, "Okay, now we're back to being alone again." And yeah, we came home and she was wound up. 2 rugs.
Ah, the joy of having dogs.
2 rugs.
At least you didn't eat them.
No emergency vet trip, if that's what you mean. I mean, the amount of like threads and yarn on it was a pile this big when I got done sweeping it up. It was remarkable.
Got some Nirvana in a couple of minutes, but first the Foo Fighters.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Nirvana on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Jackson Chourio hit his first career Grand Slam on Friday.
Woo!
As the Brewers beat the Cubs 4-2. The Brew Crew lost on Saturday 5-3, but they finished the series up with a 7-1 win yesterday. Brew Crew, no rest for the weary. They're at Colorado tonight, 7:40 first pitch, the first of 4 against the Rockies. Of course, we're heading into July. That means the All-Star break is coming up in just about a week and a half, 2 weeks from now. So they'll get a little bit of a break here, but they got plenty of games left before the break. Speaking of the Brewers and AmFam Field, I don't know if you saw this, but 11 people injured after an escalator
gosh, I did.
at the Brewers American Family Field malfunctioned over the weekend, resulting in an increased downward speed. So you're standing on this thing, you're going down, and all of a sudden the thing says yeet, and it starts going faster, and 11 people got injured.
Uh-huh.
The incident occurred after the Brewers' 5-3 loss to the Cubs while fans were taking the escalator from the terrace to the loge level. 5 of the people were injured, treated at the ballpark. The other 6 were transported to area hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries, according to a statement from the team. Elsewhere with the Brewers, Rob Edwards, the longtime public address announcer for the Brew Crew, also a well-known local radio host for many, many years, died over the weekend. Brewers and WTMJ Radio announced Edwards' death on Friday afternoon. He died earlier in the week. He was only 79. The baseball team, the Brewers, they posted on social media, quote, "The entire Brewers organization sends condolences to the family of Rob Edwards. He was the Brewers stadium public address announcer from 98 to 2019, and before that, He did radio, obviously, in the Milwaukee area for a long, long time. So, Joey Logano emerging as the unlikely winner of the Ally 400 yesterday at Nashville, holding off Zane Smith and Tyler Reddick to take the checkered flag in quintuple overtime.
Oh, no, get out.
5 overtimes.
What?
Yeah. Logano also breaking a long winless drought that dated all the way back to the spring of last year. Elsewhere on the track, John Force's team said yesterday that the longtime NHRA funny car driver had suffered a traumatic brain injury and revealed that he'd been unable to respond to commands from doctors for days following his fiery crash at the Virginia Nationals.
Is that the one you showed me?
Yeah, the funny car where it just kind of exploded. John Force Racing said in a statement that the 75-year-old had failed to follow the series of commands to open his eyes, squeeze the hands of his care providers, and move his extremities for 4 days after this crash. The team had previously said that he was moved from the trauma intensive care to the neurological intensive care earlier in the week. He became more consistent, responding to commands, and finally opened his eyes on day 5.
Did? Okay.
Yeah, this is funny. Following days of failed attempts, his wife and daughters were overcome with emotion when he murmured his name, John Force, and later, when prompted, gave a thumbs up.
Ugh.
Apparently, though, it's tough because he's confused. He doesn't quite know what's going on, and he's been trying to get out of bed, and they're trying to restrain him, and all that. Yeah, it's so he's got a long road to recovery, horrible. And I don't know if he'll ever get back in a car. At least, maybe not professionally. Elsewhere in sports, Dickie Vitale revealing over the weekend that has cancer in a lymph node. Made the announcement on Friday afternoon, saying, "quote My reports on the biopsy of the lymph node in my neck has arrived, and it is cancerous. With all the prayers I have received and the loving support of my family, friends, and ESPN colleagues, I will win this battle. Surgery on Tuesday will be a success. Thanks for all the prayers." So, yeah, longtime ESPN college basketball announcer Dick Vitale announcing that he once again has cancer in a lymph node. They're going to do a surgery, it sounds like tomorrow, to remove that.
Did you see Simone Biles on the vault?
How could you not?
Holy
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been trying to, I don't watch it on TV, but I've been trying to keep up with all the Olympic trial stuff that's going on with internet videos and whatnot. But
how many flips is that? 17,000? She flips 17,000 times before she lands.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Olympics coming up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
later
7.
this month. Looking forward to it.
Ugh.
We've got music from Billy Morrison and Ozzy in just a bit, plus an update on the Hawktua girl. Still very popular. People still talking about it. And she made an appearance this weekend. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk to it. Spit on that thing. You get me?
So where else was she? What happened?
Well, the Hawktua girl, Shaw, the meme that just won't die. It's been over a week now, almost 2 weeks, since she made an appearance on that viral video in Nashville where she said you gotta spit on that thing.
Then she sold a bunch of hats.
And then she signed a deal with a hat guy and was the last number I saw was somewhere around $65,000.
That's what I saw too.
There's been a number of memes. There's been a bunch of T-shirts made that I don't think has anything to do with. But over the weekend, she showed up on stage with Zach Bryan, who's a
did she really?
Yeah, who's a country artist, and it's kind of hard here, but you can hear her scream into the mic. For the most part, the video I saw, she was kind of just standing there while he was singing. And she had her cowboy hat on and her cowboy boots. And then at one point, she went over to the mic after he was done and she yelled out, Hawktua. Again, very difficult to understand what she was saying there. But there has been a lot of songs about the Hawktua girl, Shaw. I don't know if you've heard any of these.
I have not.
Well, there's original songs, and then there's also
We heard one last week. A buddy of mine sent it to me, and it was an AI country song. So somebody fed the whatever information into the AI bot that you got to do, and it spit out a country song. And it was actually, I could hear that on a country station. I could be driving and turn it.
You believe it?
And
huh?
I'd be like, yeah, that sounds like a country song.
But there's also matchups because that's what the internet does best.
This is actually a dance remix of the Hawktua girl.
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk to it. Spit on that thing. You get me? Oh, you gotta give him that hawk to it.
Oh, man.
Spit on that thing.
No, thank you.
So there's that. The techno dance remix. This one is actually pretty funny, Shaw. You might like this one.
All right.
It's a 1950s doo-wop vinyl style, right? Like barbershop quartet-ish almost.
Okay, like
So
poodle skirt and the whole thing?
Yeah, kind of like the soda shop type stuff.
Well, I woke her up so she can give me top. Baby, I need you to wake up and give me that hot I need you to spit on that thing. Baby, I woke up morning this morning, praying for some hot Don't forget to spit on that thing. Baby, I need you to open your mouth.
Shaw, you want to get a chocolate malt?
Yeah, and go square dancing.
Oh, man. There's a million of them, by the way. These are just some of the more, I don't know.
Noteworthy?
Yeah, ones that I found to be very funny. Here's a, this is the white girl with dreadlocks at the coffee shop and a guitar. You know what I'm saying, Shaw? You can smell the patchouli from here. That's what this version is.
She walks into the bar with a confident sway. Eyes locked on him. She knows what to say. With a smile on her lips and a fire in her eyes. She's got a plan, no room for goodbye. She's got the moves, she's got the charm. Better wrap him up in her loving arms. With a glint in her eye, she's ready to sing. Gonna give him that hot and spit on that thing.
Quite a ways into the number before you get to that.
And spit on that thing. Trying to win his heart.
Oh, my God.
All of this born of a single meme.
Yeah, like 6 seconds of video. That's all you need, Shaw. That is all you
amazing.
need. All you need.
If America was as productive with things that mattered, boy, that'd be impressive.
Yeah, but things that matter we don't want to do. We do it all day. We want to do the stupid, meaningless stuff, the meaningless, mindless things that are fun and entertain us. That's what we really want, Shaw.
Her mother must be so proud.
I bet she is. She's
I don't
probably
know.
paying some of her mortgage.
Or at least taking care of herself now with $60,000 in merch.
Yeah, Zach Bryan was in Nashville, and they obviously tracked her down. I still haven't seen an interview or a podcast appearance, so I don't know when that's happening. I mean, maybe she's getting managed by somebody, a talent agency, but she popped up at the Zach Bryan show, and it's all sorts of people making songs about Haktua, Shaw.
Oh, good for her.
Spit on that thing. So damn funny. Right now, a three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. What else is happening?
Well, the Mississippi River could be about to reach its peak in La Crosse today at almost 3 feet above flood stage. The latest forecast calls for a crest of 14.7 feet later today. It's measured this morning at 14.6 feet. River watchers believe the water will stay at that crest level until Wednesday. Other cities north of La Crosse may also experience a crest today. Camping by homeless people has become a common sight in La Crosse and many other cities, but homeless camping can now be banned by local governments following a ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court. The justices have overturned a California court ruling which classified bans on camping as cruel and unusual punishment under the Eighth Amendment. The court says that amendment does not apply to public camping. Advocates for the homeless say this ruling would treat homelessness as a crime and make the crisis worse.
Yeah, then what?
Right, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't require cities to do anything. It just allows them to ban camping in their communities. That's something that the legality of which was in question. Among the many people who are concerned about President Biden's performance during last week's television debate is past presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders. During an appearance at UWL over the weekend, Senator Sanders says Biden did not have a good night on Thursday when he appeared to struggle answering
Captain
questions.
Obvious.
But Sanders added that the debate was not meant as entertainment, and he urges voters to consider the important issues. High on his list of major issues is climate change.
And I think young people and old people want to have a president who is prepared to work with other countries to cut carbon emissions and to address the crisis of climate change. And on that issue, I have to say, Donald Trump thinks the climate change is a hoax. Believe me, he is so wrong. It is hard to describe, and he's just terribly, terribly wrong.
Sanders also urged the La Crosse audience to re-elect Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin, who's seeking a third term this year. The La Crosse Loggers guaranteed their spot in the Northwoods League playoffs over the weekend, clinching the first half title in their division. It is the second consecutive season that the Loggers have clinched the playoffs. Last year, the Loggers had the worst record over the first half of the season, only to end up winning their division in the second half, on their way to getting within one win of the Northwoods World Series. Despite clinching the playoffs, though, the Loggers are in a bit of of a slump. Coming off a 9-game winning streak, La Crosse is now 1-3 in its last 4 games after splitting a pair with Eau Claire over the weekend. Now, the 20-12 Loggers will host Mankato tonight and tomorrow at Copeland Park, both games beginning at 6:35 p.m.
Yeah, the Express got a new record for the most runs scored in the game against the Loggers, 19-4.
Oof, that's a spanking.
That's a record for them.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw. You've got American Ninja Warrior on NBC tonight. Name That Tune over on Fox, followed by the 1% Club. The Wall returns to NBC tonight at 9 o'clock, and the second season premiere of Star Trek Prodigy is today on Netflix. All of the late night shows are in repeats.
I'm sure of it.
Vacation time. Gene, you said you tried to watch the new Flash film?
Yeah.
Didn't work out so well?
That wasn't very great. I don't know. I don't know. You watch any of those DC Marvel movies and you think you're in for a night of entertainment, Shaw, right? It's going to be good, no matter what. Right? You know what you're in. And I didn't hate it, but I definitely wasn't, into it. I don't know. That whole time, space, or I guess time, where he goes back and it's himself. I mean, for a little bit, you're like, this is funny. And then after a while, I don't know. I just, Batman was the coolest part of the whole thing.
Yeah,
So it wasn't even Flash, it was Batman.
Reintroducing Michael Keaton as Batman, but in a different timeline.
I don't know. Not for me, I guess.
We finally started to watch that movie that I've been excited about, A History in a Violent Nature is what it's called. And it's basically like a slasher film told from the perspective of the slasher as opposed to the victims.
Okay.
So we started to watch it last night, and my wife went into a food coma. And so we had to put it on pause and pick it up later on tonight. So, yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name of the movie we watched from 2015 last night, so it's going to, I probably...
We also, well, not we, but I've been...
Oh, No Escape.
Ooh, Owen Wilson? That's good.
Dude.
I like that movie, yeah. Nonstop, heartbeat.
Nonstop.
Pierce Brosnan. Hell
we
yeah.
put the movie on and we're like, okay, and 30 seconds into it, you're like, oh, snap. And it's like that for the rest of the
Throwing
movie.
his kids off a roof, just yeet.
Oh, yeah.
Puts a belt around her so she can't, grab a hold of him.
Oh.
Yeah, basically duct tapes his daughter with his belt and then throws her off the roof.
Can't speak the language, don't know where they're... They landed, a couple hours before. It was just... It was nonstop.
Yeah. And I've been...
That's an old movie, obviously, but...
I've been binging The Boys, re-binging it, so that I can get prepared for the new season, so... Wife has been kind of catching on to some of the stuff that's been happening because she's up watching, what I'm watching, so... Soundgarden.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
Soundgarden with Burden in My Hand. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Get back to Shaw in the newsroom in just a bit. We were talking about the Eau Claire Express beating up on the Loggers. What was it, 19 to something or whatever? 19-4, yeah. I'm actually going to be going up to Eau Claire next week, next Thursday. Simpsons Skip Day. And you can join me on the party deck at Carson Park. Watch the Eau Claire Express do battle. And also benefit the Chippewa Valley Veterans Tribute Foundation. It's Simpsons Skip Day, so I'm going to get done with work on Thursday the 11th. Leave La Crosse, head up to Eau Claire, jump on the party deck. Yep.
Day game?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Jump on the party deck at Carson Park. And then we're going to get on a Pulse party bus, and we're going to go over to famous Ray's place after the game, have a beer. By the way, your first beer is on us. And then after that, we're going to take that Pulse party bus, and we're going to go over to the Brewing Project before we ship you home.
One of your favorite stops along the way?
Can't go wrong with the brewery. Their new spot, too, is beautiful, by the way. They have a massive outdoor patio.
Yeah, you were telling me. It was
awesome. Can't wait to get back up there. It's Simpsons Skip Day, and you can find out more, rockmornings.com.
Did you get a shirt, too, or something?
Yeah, so there's a T-shirt. You get, of course, tickets to the ball game. We'll buy your first beer at Ray's Place after the game's over, and we'll, of course, provide transportation with the Pulse Party Bus. Find out more online. Go to rockmornings.com. It's next Thursday, the 11th, that Eau Claire Express game. And... again, it all helps out veterans in the Chippewa Valley. So head to rockmornings.com if you want to join me. Looking forward to it. Day baseball. Love day baseball.
I know you do.
My jam. We'll get back to Shaw in a bit. Also, some Disturbed on the way. Stick around.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9.
Rock mornings with Brian and Gene. That is, of course, Disturbed, Down with the Sickness. I think we just talked about this last week. Shaw was mentioning something about pandas, right?
The giant pandas at Washington?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
we just replenished our panda supply. The San Diego Zoo announcing 2 giant pandas arrived safe and sound on loan from China. They are the first new pandas to hit the U.S. in 21 years.
Yeah, I know. And so we're going to Washington, and I'm so bummed because the giant pandas from that are coming to Washington to the National Zoo aren't going to arrive until at the end of the year, apparently.
And Zoo Atlanta is the only other zoo in America
Yeah.
that has pandas right now, and those 4 are actually heading back to China at the end of the year. So we were about to be without pandas in the U.S., but now there are some on loan from China at the San Diego Zoo. Also, I don't know if you saw this, but do you guys play Uno? You do board games and stuff with your, I mean, maybe not anymore, but like
Yeah.
you have in the past?
Of course.
You got a go-to board game or card game that you guys play? With the kids?
No, not a go-to necessarily.
Not just
Uno's
whatever.
good for traveling because it's
Well, good news.
compact. And
Interesting that you bring up Uno.
it's good to throw in the bag and you can take it wherever.
Uno's where you draw 4, you skip, pick a color, all that stuff, right? Well, Mattel is apparently updating Uno so that people who are colorblind can play. How long have they been making Uno cards? This is like first time they've thought of that. They're adding tiny symbols to the top of each card that are associated with each color. They're doing similar things with other games, too, and they say 80% will be accessible to colorblind people by the end of the year. So kind of neat. Mattel
Like
realizing.
blue, green? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go for it. Hope I'm right.
Yeah, sorry I messed up. I'm colorblind, by the way. But yeah, Mattel apparently tweaking, a little tweak to their Uno cards, their decks, so that people who
Why not?
suffer from colorblindness will be able to play.
Why not?
Yeah, pretty cool. Do you have you must have an itinerary of your trip to Washington.
I have some of it figured out. That's I got to finalize it. I just sent for a request to tour the White House because you have to do that through your representative, and you can't do it too far in advance, and you can't do it too close. Today was my deadline, as a matter of fact.
Did you look into the City Pass thing that I told you about?
Yep, I looked into that. So right now we're doing a trolley tour thing where you get on and get off and spend as much time at each monument as you want to on Monday. Tuesday, I think we're taking a water ferry to Georgetown because apparently there's a lot of cool architecture and restaurants.
Don't forget
and
to go see the
shops and
staircase.
stuff. And the staircase, and where
Exorcist.
there's some JFK like walking tour down there. And then Wednesday we're going to the archives, National Archives, and then the Smithsonian Natural History Museum in the afternoon.
Very cool.
And then Thursday I would like to tour the White House and trying to get to another Smithsonian. Yeah, so I'm getting it worked out, but it's you got to plan because you got to. A lot of it's free, but if you don't ask for entrance pass, you're waiting outside for hours and hours and hours, and that sounds like not that great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the 2 pandas are arriving at the National Zoo by the end of the year, so it doesn't. I'm bummed that they're not there, but they're coming, which is very cool.
Gene on vacation, going to D.C. When are you leaving? End of July? Right?
Yeah, that you get back from Rockfest and I'll be gone.
Okay, good. 2 ships in the night, right? We'll get to Pearl Jam and Scott Robert Shaw in just a bit.
Rock mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
In theaters now, a movie by a man, for men. Horizon, featuring spitting, shooting, fighting, close-ups of somebody squinting, horses, that clank boots make on the floor of a saloon. Did we mention shooting? And a grizzled-sounding Kevin Costner in a cowboy hat.
You and I are standing guard in one of the last great open spaces.
Horizon, rated R for manly, because spelling is for sissies.
Yeah, it didn't do so well.
Apparently, it didn't do very well in the theaters.
No, only $11 million in ticket sales. Far from the number 1 spot, which went to Inside Out 2. And just behind that, the latest Quiet Place movie, which is making some noise at the box office. $53 million in its first weekend in American theaters. Yeah.
Speaking of shooting, I hope she's listening. I know that the alarm goes off at my house and it's tuned into our station.
What did she shoot? What's happening?
Man, it was an all-timer yesterday. An absolute all-timer. Gun raffles are obviously a big thing in the Midwest, right? They happen everywhere, Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
And Lake Henry in the city of Blair, they have a dredging project, and they do a gun raffle every year. I don't know how many years they've been doing it, but my buddy Hot Sauce over at the Helm was telling me about this a couple of weeks ago. He's selling tickets for the Lake Henry dredging project, right? They have a 30-day gun giveaway. And it starts on November 1st, and every day in the month of November, they take a number of the people that, signed up and bought tickets. It's $100. And every day they pull one number, and that person wins a gun. A different gun every day. And you can either get the gun, or I think you can cash it in. There's like a cash option that you can take or whatever. And the funds raised help to dredge this Lake Henry in Blair. I know nothing about it.
Other than that,
okay. Right? So we're at the bar yesterday, and I said, "Oh, hey," I said, "Do you still have those tickets available? I know you asked me about them." And he said, "Yeah." He's like, "It's $100," and he runs it down, and it's they dredge the lake, right? So they're getting rid of like the the gunk on the bottom, making it deeper, making it nicer, whatever. That that's what the dredging project is. My wife, who is a very smart, beautiful, wonderful human being, but lacks a little bit of street sense from time to time, Shaw, says they dredged the lake to get the guns for the giveaway. Something along those lines, and we just lost it. She didn't understand that the guns were brand new and they're raffling them off. She thought the guns were like the bike
they found,
like the bike raffle, right, or the bike sale that the cops do every once in a while, where they go out in the Mississippi River, they throw a bunch of like magnets down there, they pull up bikes, and then they sell them, right? They clean them up and they sell them. No, that's not what's happening here. They're not dredging up guns from the bottom of one lake in Blair, where everyone apparently throws their guns, and once they get
hundreds. There's
oh my God, we were busting.
There's a month's
jokes.
worth of guns.
We were busting jokes for like a good hour afterwards. My poor wife just had no clue where the guns came from. Thought they came from the bottom of the lake. Some kind of mysterious lake gun gypsy living down there. Some sort of fairy underneath the water.
We throw them all, and then every year we dig them all up, and then we raffle them off. And then
when you don't want one, you throw it in the river or the lake, and then they just leave it there for next year.
They have to keep dredging,
right? And the gun's fine. It doesn't suffer any sort of degradation from being underwater. It's okay. Oh, my God. We were dying laughing at the bar yesterday when my wife said that. She's like, so they dredged the lake to get the guns? And I was like, no, honey. I'm like, they buy the guns or they get them donated or something. Like, we're paying, for them to dredge the lake, not so they can get more guns out of it.
Because you'd have to check those. If they were at the bottom of the lake, Shaw, they might be used for criminal activity. Criminal activity.
Dying laughing. Absolute all-timer yesterday. Thought they dredged the lake to get the guns for the giveaway.
Well,
it's like a circle, right? $100, the gun. I get it. I don't want it. They give me the money. They throw it back in the river. The next year they dredge it out. Same thing occurs. Yeah. So, oh goodness, I had to share that. It was just too damn funny. Too damn funny, Shaw.
Well, she gets it now.
Yes, she does. Text from Adam says, just remember, American gun owners make the worst boat captains. I don't quite get the reference there.
I don't know.
I'm sure Adam does, but it's lost on me, buddy. Maybe a little bit more of an explanation would help. What's going on in the real world?
Well, happy second half of the year day.
Yeah.
July 1st is the 183rd day of 2024, and it's a leap year, so at midnight tonight, we'll be halfway through. One person is dead after an early morning crash in La Crosse on Saturday. Police were called around 1 a.m. Saturday for a report of the one-car crash. It happened near South Avenue and Johnson Street. Police say the vehicle left the road and went down an embankment. The driver was ejected and pronounced dead at the scene. Police are still investigating. Will homeless people be allowed to live in lacrosse parks for much longer? That may depend on how the city council deals with that situation during its July meetings. The council agendas for this month include an amendment to existing rules that permit long-term camping on city property. The council could also vote on whether to have a special election next year for a vacant aldermanic seat. The 5th district seat has been empty since May because the previous council member graduated from college and moved out of lacrosse. The next election in the 5th district is not currently scheduled for another 3 years. The Milwaukee Brewers are reaching out to the 11 people who were injured after an American Family Field escalator malfunctioned on Saturday. Yes. Brewer spokesman Tyler Barnes said all the escalators, other than the one that malfunctioned, were operating yesterday after getting inspected. The Brewers announced that 5 people had to be treated at the stadium. 6 others went to area hospitals, all with 9 non-life-threatening injuries. The Brewers are reaching out to those injured to check on their condition and express our best wishes for a complete and speedy recovery.
Yeah, I think they're checking all of the escalators in Miller Park because of this incident.
Apparently, it just started going at about 3 times its normal speed, and people just collapsed.
And it's going down, not
downward,
up. Yeah, which you're already sort of like your weight's going in a different direction.
Well, and you're talking to people, and you're just leaning, and then all of a sudden.
Well, and it was after the game, so it was probably loaded with people.
Right.
I mean, and those things, we've heard horror stories. Obviously, you get somebody trapped in there, forget about it.
Yeah, it was against the Cubs, so maybe they wanted to get those Cubs fans out of there as soon as they could. Just give them a running start. And Simone Biles is heading back to the Olympics. The gymnastics star clinched an automatic spot on the 5-woman U.S. team by breezing to victory at the Olympic trials, which were held at the Target Center in Minneapolis. The 2016 Olympic champ appears as good as ever at the age of 27. She's returning to the spotlight 3 years after pulling herself out of multiple finals at the 2020 Games to focus on her mental health. But Biles says she's not worried about history repeating itself in Paris. Suni Lee from St. Paul also made the team, by the way.
Did you see her vault?
I did not. I saw some of the Olympic trials, did not see that.
Oh, my gosh. Her floor routine, too. If you get a second, both of them are, if you got 5 minutes, you can watch both of them. It's
crazy. Like they're flying when they're doing that floor exercise, All the spins and twists.
I got an email from Josh. I guess I don't know quite where all this comes from. Maybe I missed the boat, so to speak, on this one, but he said every time that there is a government threat about gun regulations, people joke about how they lost all their guns in a boating accident.
Oh, I see. All right.
So then the government won't come looking for them, or so they think.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I missed that one about the boats and the guns thing.
I looked into the dredging project. They're taking quite a bit of material out of the bottom of the lake. To
How
the
many
tune
guns?
Of over $2 million is what it's costing.
Which
to
is why
make
they
it
have to, raise money. The gun raffle, 1 gun a day for 30 days, Shaw.
And just throw it back in the lake.
All dredged from this tiny little community and their little tiny little veterans park.
Oh, I couldn't believe she said it. I was like, wait, I looked at her. I'm like, are you for real? Do you really think that they're dredging the guns up from the bottom of the lake and that's how they give them away? Like, what are we doing here?
It was just it was a moment.
Rock Mornings on 95.7 The Rock.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, porn star dancing from My Darkest Days. We've got the Monday morning throwback coming up in just a bit. We'll take a look at things to look forward to in the month of July. Bad news, happy music a bit later on. Friggin' sports, daily check-ins. Brewers took 2 of 3 from the Cubs this weekend.
Grand Slam, didn't you say that?
Jackson Chourio hit his first career Grand Slam on Friday nights for the 4-2 win. They lost on Saturday, but they got a nice 7-1 win yesterday. The Brewers are at Colorado tonight. 7:40 first pitch, the first of 4 against the Rockies. I think it's a 7-game road trip for the Brewers before they come back home before the All-Star break. Joey Logano got the win in quintuple overtime yesterday.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that, such a thing.
Quintuple.
This is NASCAR, right?
Yeah, they went, I think, 30 more laps than they had planned. Broke a long winless drought dated all the way back to spring of last year, so it's been a minute for Joey Logano. This is crazy. I would go buy a lottery ticket right after this. I've always said that if I were ever to hit a hole-in-one in golf, I would just quit golfing forever because there's no other reason to play.
Albatross.
You've done it. You've hit a hole-in-one.
More rare than a hole-in-one.
While what's rarer than a hole-in-one? How about 2 in a row?
On the same day, on the same course?
2 holes in a row. Frank Benzel Jr. did not make the cut at this week's U.S. Senior Open, but he will have a historic takeaway from the tournament. During the second round of play at Newport Country Club in Newport, Rhode Island, the 56-year-old Benzel Jr. carded back-to-back aces. His first ace came on the 184-yard par 3 fourth hole. He followed that up with another on the 203-yard par 3 fifth hole. 2 aces in a row. Why would you ever keep golfing? You've done it. That's the pinnacle.
That's it. Hang up the clubs. I'm done.
The odds of making a hole-in-one,
Yes,
according to the National Hole-in-One Registry, the odds of making a hole-in-one aren't too bad, actually. 12,500 to 1. 2 in the same round, as Brian Harmon achieved on the PGA Tour in 2015, 67 million to 1.
Okay, that's a lot more.
And I can't even tell you the odds of making 2 in a row in 2 holes in a row. Like, because this guy, Brian Harmon, did 2 in the same rounds. Not back-to-back, though. And that was 67 million to 1. This next one, there's a lot of numbers after the commas.
I don't even know how to read it. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And last but not least, the High A affiliate of the Cleveland Guardians, the Lake County Captains, it's their High A affiliate, has now unveiled a Roto-Rooter toilet row at their home games. The row includes 8 deluxe high-end toilet seats that are placed behind home plate at Classic Auto Group Park, where the Captains play.
Behind home plate?
Reading material, you got to Google it. I can't really do it justice. Roto-Rooter toilet row. Reading material and games are included behind the toilet seat. Each fan will also receive a personalized attention from a captain's bathroom attendant who will provide mouthwash, combs, and gum. Jen Yorko, the GM of the Lake County Captains, said, quote, "Everyone deserves a VIP experience, and with Toilet Row, we're taking that to a whole new level." So they partnered with Roto-Rooter, and they stuck 8 essentially toilet seats in a row behind home plate for people to sit at, and you get some VIP treatment from some sort of bathroom attendant that gives you gum and combs. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, I get it. It's the, like the stuff that's...
Oh, you sponsor it, you got to do something, right? It's different. It's unique. I'll give them that.
It is different.
But it's very strange. The Roto-Rooter toilet row. Yeah.
Little hairspray, little baby powder, little gum, little comb, little mint.
How many combs do I get? I only really, one?
Do you get a comb or do you get to use a comb? You get a comb.
I'm assuming you
get your own
probably
comb.
Don't want to reuse combs, right? And
Probably
lice
not.
and all that stuff. All right. We've got Beartooth in a bit, plus the Monday morning throwback. Stick around.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Maybe this will refresh your memory.
Since 2008, Brian, Gene, and Shaw have been your wake-up specialists.
Like old times, huh?
Now it's time to take a look back.
Go way back.
It's the Monday Morning Throwback. Every Monday morning, Throwback.
From 2018, 6 years ago, pre-COVID. That's how we look at things now, right?
It sure is.
It sure is.
Pre and post. This was 2018, right around July 4th, talking about different ways you could injure yourself over the 4th of July holiday. Obviously, the big one is fireworks.
It sure is. Yep, my brother has a giant scar across his forehead. Ooh. The one that doesn't go off and you go over to check on it. Dumb.
Funny you should mention that because we actually talked about that. A dud that didn't go off, and he went and looked at it. You were telling the story back in 2018. Yeah, so that was one of the things. But some of the other ways that you could injure yourself over the 4th of July holiday. Here's a quick look, a peek at our Monday morning throwback from 2018. Grilling, Shaw, number 2 on the top 5 safety hazards around the 4th of July. Don't leave your grill unattended. Don't spray lighter fluid on an open flame or leave the bottle next to the grill. Don't use a grill inside in a closed area like a garage. Make sure it's far enough away from anything that might catch fire as well. Water safety, number 3 on the list of the top 5 safety hazards around the 4th of July. Obviously, people are going to be on the river, in the pool, whatever, the heat. Young kids can drown in as little as 2 inches of water, by the way. So obviously be very careful.
Happened.
And there's that viral video of that baby-proof ladder on that guy's pool, and the baby, the 2-year-old, he's sitting there watching the baby just like, yeah, right,
I
buddy.
got this.
Oof, yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah, obviously with the grill, you burn yourself.
And water's high everywhere.
Water's high.
So fast.
There's so much junk in the water, too, floating around that you won't see or might not see.
Yeah, probably not going to see nearly as many boaters on the water this 4th of July as you would on a typical holiday.
But the Monday Morning Throwback, a look back at 2018 when we were talking about 4th of July safety. Obviously, fireworks, Shaw. Numero uno. Number 1. Be very, very careful.
I still have all my fingers somehow.
I don't know how the hell I survived. I told you, I was obsessed with fires and
blowing things up
as a kid. I don't know how the hell how I made it. I just don't know. I got lucky, I guess. Yay me. Monday Morning Throwback each and every Monday. Take a look at our website if you want to listen to it in its entirety from 2018. Right now, Shaw in the newsroom. What else going on?
Police in Madison arrested a driver who was allegedly drunk and stuck on some railroad tracks. It happened late Friday night when officers saw the car stuck on the railroad tracks at North 1st and East Washington. Police say the driver had tried to drive on the tracks as if they were a road. The driver told police they were simply following the directions on their GPS. The driver, who was found to have a blood alcohol level of more than twice the legal limit, he was arrested and charged with second offense, OWI. President Joe Biden's debate performance spurred anxiety and silence among some Democrats running in competitive races across the country. Control of both chambers of Congress hangs in the balance in November, and Democrats are defending far more Senate seats than Republicans. Wisconsin's Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin distanced herself from Biden on Friday. Her campaign said she's running her own race. Republicans attempted to capitalize on the debate performance and released an ad tying top Democratic Senate candidates to Biden. The recent anniversary of the Dobbs decision that limited abortion rights in the U.S. has led to more debate about abortion on the campaign trail. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders accuses former President Donald Trump of lying about the amount of public support for allowing abortion. Speaking in La Crosse over the weekend, Sanders said Trump is claiming that everybody in the country wanted Roe versus Wade overturned.
Donald Trump goes around the country bragging about how he appointed 3 Supreme Court justices that overturned Roe v. Wade. And women are saying, you know what? It's our bodies. And we will control our bodies, not having the government do that.
Sanders also spoke to a UWL audience about general health care needs, saying that 60,000 Americans die in a typical year because they can't afford to go to a doctor when they're sick. The NFL will be in Green Bay this month to take a look at just where next year's draft will be held. The league will meet with community leaders on July 17th to talk about area mapping and security planning. The NFL draft will be held in Green Bay next April. As of now, the plan is to keep the draft grounds between Marley Lane and Holmgren Way. Tens of thousands of people are expected in Green Bay for that draft next spring. Olympic gymnast Simone Biles has made history, becoming the oldest female athlete to compete in the women's gymnastics trials. Those trials ended yesterday in Minneapolis. And once again, the 27-year-old Biles will be leading the American gymnastics squad. She is a 7-time Olympic medalist, and she will become just a 4th American woman gymnast to compete in 3 different Olympic games. Also making the team is Suni Lee of St. Paul, who captured the all-around gold at the 2020 Olympics.
Looking forward to it, Shaw. It's one of the things on the list of things to look forward to in the month of July. We'll get to that.
July 26th, I believe.
Yep, that's when they start. We'll get to that in a bit. Also going to get to the friggin' sports and bad news, happy music. How are we looking for bad news?
Man, there's some weird ones today, including a guy who is apparently living with a number of dog-wolf hybrids.
Oh, that sounds safe.
Yeah, it wasn't.
We'll get to that in just a bit. Right now, some Alice in Chains.
Rock mornings on your rock station.
That is Alice in Chains with Them Bones, and Jerry Cantrell of Alice in Chains will be in town with Bush, Candlebox, and Tim Montana, Copeland Park and Event Center. That is on Saturday, August 3rd, part 2 of the Ultra Rock Summer Concert Series. Tickets on sale at CopelandEvents.com, and the final act, the third and final act, will be on Saturday, September 14th at Copeland Park and Event Center. That'll be Highly Suspect with Des Rocks and Dead Poet Society.
Yeah,
Tickets, info, all that at CopelandEvents.com.
You're basically talking a month. Is that first one in August?
Crazy.
Basically, it's a month.
And it feels like it was 10 years ago that we were at the Seether and Skillet show, which was in May.
Just in May.
Yeah, to kick things off. But it's been a minute, and we're looking forward to being back at the ballpark for another show on Saturday, August 3rd. Get your tickets for Bush, Jerry Cantrell, Candlebox, and Tim Montana at CopelandEvents.com.
Love to have you.
We've got, let's see, what do we got? A list of things to look forward to in the month of July. We'll do that in a bit. We'll also get to bad news, happy music. The friggin' sports. We're going to go down a little bit of a wormhole with the Filipowski kid and the grooming and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You read more about that? Did you go down a wormhole with that?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I did.
Kind of weird.
On Friday. Spent some time with that. I haven't looked at it over the weekend. If there was more, I'm not aware of that, but yes.
Yeah. We'll take a look at that. We'll get to all sorts of stuff in just a bit. Stick around.
More of your rock mornings coming up in just a bit.
Metallica, Sad But True. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Liv Tyler is 47.
Joe, I have to bring Rex his lunch. Joe, I need to bring him his lunch.
I'm bringing Rex his lunch!
Thanks, Joe. Rex Manning Day.
47.
47, yeah. 17. 30 years ago was when Dad put her in the Aerosmith video for Crazy. 30 years, that song's crazy. Missy Misdemeanor Elliott is 53.
Is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. It's your primitive, it's why I need them.
Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. 53 years young today. Also celebrating a birthday, Pam Anderson, 57 years old. Her and Tommy Lee, of course. Their lovely boat escapades.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you so much.
There was a third person on that boat,
I love
too.
you so much. I love you.
Yeah. Roddy Bottom is 61, keyboardist for Faith No More. Carl Lewis, 63.
And the Rockets.
Uh-oh.
The bombs bursting in air came through the night. That our flag was still there.
Still there.
I'm going to make up for it.
Make up for it now.
No, you won't. Carl Lewis, 63. Really good at track and field, not really good at singing the national anthem.
Yeah.
9 of his 10 Olympic medals, by the way, are gold. Yeah, highly decorated, but maybe not so much with the singing of the national anthem. Alan Ruck is 68. You probably know him best as Cameron Fry from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Ferris Bueller, you're my hero.
He was 29 when he played Cameron Fry. 29. You want to know what I found out this weekend?
Okay.
That I didn't know. Blew my mind. My wife's reading a book about The Exorcist, the movie. Max von Sydow, the old priest. How old do you think he was?
Is this a cocoon thing? Is this like the Paul Rudd
How old do you
cocoon
think he was when he was the old
in
priest
Exorcist?
in The Exorcist?
Well,
How
whatever
old?
I say is not.
How old?
It's shocking, obviously,
old?
because I would have said before this conversation.
There's the 2 priests. They need a young priest and an old priest. The young guy, Father Karras, and the old guy. How old is the old guy?
68.
44.
This is a cocoon Paul Rudd
He was
thing.
44 years old when he played that role. The actor, Max von Sydow. So, like, his age in the movie obviously was much older. But his age
acting
was 44.
44.
My wife told me, she's like, he was the same age as me. I'm like, what? I was like, that's crazy.
That doesn't make sense.
Anyways, Dan Aykroyd, 72.
Something I loved from my childhood. Something that could never, ever possibly destroy us. Mr. Stay Puft. Nice thinking, Ray.
Nice thinking, Ray.
Nice job.
Go get her, Ray. We got to watch that. The new Frozen Empire just came out. Fred Schneider is 73, the voice of the B-52s.
It wasn't a rock.
What was it, Gene? It was a rock. Fred Schneider, 73. Debbie Harry Blondie, 79 years young today. And Jamie Farr, 90. Lebanese-American superstar Corporal Klinger from MASH.
Crossdresser.
Yeah, wanted to get out of the military, so he didn't work.
Didn't work. Still
didn't work. They were like, nah.
No, we'll take you. Thanks.
And born on this day way back in 1935, died in 2020, Darth Vader. David Prowse, the guy who actually physically played Darth Vader, obviously voiced done by James Earl Jones, but the body in the suit was David Prowse. July 1st, 1979. The very first Sony Walkman went on sale.
79?
On this day in 1979.
You shouldn't have killed my mom and squished my Walkman.
Uh-oh. Don't mess with Star-Lord's Walkman. He loves that thing. The old orange foam over the earpieces. Hell yeah. 1984, the PG-13 rating was created, and X became NC-17.
Yes.
The first PG-13 movie didn't hit theaters until a month later. It was?
I don't know.
It was?
I don't know.
Red Dawn.
That was PG-13?
Yes. That was the first PG-13 movie to hit theaters in America. 32 years ago today, 1992, the movie Boomerang, starring Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, David Alan Grier, in theaters.
I'm trying to impress you. You know that.
I know. Now, where'd you get the mushroom shirt? I got to know.
Well, the secret is you got to coordinate. Most people don't coordinate. See, you got to coordinate.
Yes, that's what you did.
Yeah.
The late, great John Witherspoon. Bang, 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 bang. So funny. Also in theaters on that very same day, A League of Their Own.
There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
And there's also no balls and drawers in A League of Their Own.
It was a good guess.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
A terrible guess.
It was a good guess.
29 years ago today, 1995, the legendary disc jockey Wolfman Jack died of a heart attack at the age of 57.
Hey, baby, welcome on in here to the Wolfman Jack Show for a Tuesday night.
I mean, like Mexico, right? Wasn't that the deal?
It was.
It was AM radio,
Yeah,
and that's why we got to
went
power down, power
everywhere.
up there. Yeah, it went all over the country.
Oh, I think it went into Canada even.
1997, Limp Bizkit released their debut album, $3 Bill, y'all. You got Counterfeit. You got their cover of Faith on there. That's a hell of an album. I just listened to it again this morning, getting ready for the show. 2000, 24 years ago today, Walter Matthau died at the age of 79.
Yeah, one more thing.
Oops, that's not him. Obviously, grumpy old man, him and Jack Lemmon.
Yeah.
Why don't you do the world a favor and pull your lip over your head and swallow?
2004, also on this day in 04, Marlon Brando died of respiratory failure. He was 80. 2005, Luther Vandross passed away after complications from his stroke. That was 19 years ago today.
Me and Luther Vandross.
Eddie. Hey, you ain't going too goddamn far now. Don't talk about Luther Vandross, okay?
Yeah, man. Luther's sick, man. I can't talk about Luther Vandross?
No.
Wait a minute, everybody in here saying I can't talk about Luther Vandross.
No.
I can't talk about Luther Vandross?
No.
What you gonna do about it?
Barbershop. There you go. Some birthdays and stuff that happened on July 1st. We've got a look ahead. We're going to look ahead now instead of looking back. We'll do that when we get to Shaw. Take a look ahead at things to look forward to in the month of July.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
I love my calendar, girl.
Time to turn the page to July, Shaw.
Indeed.
And we just took a look back at some of the birthdays and stuff that happened on July 1st in the past. Now it's time to look ahead to the future. What's happening this month? We'll start with movies. This week, Beverly Hills Cop Axel F on Netflix. That'll be on Wednesday. Rated R, by the way. Got the whole gang back. Also in theaters on Wednesday, Despicable Me 4.
Yes. Oh, yes. Wednesday?
Ruin the Minions, Wednesday, yes. On the 19th of July, Shaw, just a couple weeks from now, in theaters, rated PG-13, it is the sequel we've been waiting like 30 years for. We got cows. Twisters. They just put an S on the end, so you know it's more than one. Twisters, Shaw, in theaters on the 19th. And then the big one this month, July 26th, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Maximum effort.
Maximum efforts. Nerds are very excited for this one, Shaw. Breaking down all the trailers, looking for all the Easter eggs. It's going to be big. Everybody's coming back for this one. Everybody. Like all of the X-Men you've ever seen, ever in the history forever, are going to be in this one, apparently. Every one of them.
July 27th?
July 26th, so that's on a
6th.
Friday. Yep. There'll probably be a Thursday premiere, obviously. But television shows in the month of July, starting with today, Star Trek Prodigy Season 2 airs on CBS. Hard Knocks, off-season with the Giants, starts tomorrow on HBO. You watch Hard Knocks?
I have not.
No?
Of course, I don't have HBO, so.
Next Monday, The Bachelorette, Season 21 on ABC. Season 11 of Celebrity Family Feud debuts on the 9th on ABC. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Season 10 on ABC on the 10th of July. Also on the 10th, Receiver on Netflix. This is like that quarterback show, Shaw, but with wide receivers.
Oh, okay.
You know, they did that quarterback one, little documentary series, whatever. The 2024 ESPY Awards are on ABC on July 11th. And then 3 days later, Shark Week begins. July 14th. Yep, that's a Sunday. Shark Week starts on the Discovery Channel. On the 15th, you've got the Republican National Convention beginning. Where is that taking place, by the way? Is that in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, that starts on the 15th. Big Brother Season 26 is on CBS on July 17th. Also on July 17th, Simone Biles Rising on Netflix. The special about Simone talking about her life and getting the twisties and everything. And, you know, obviously her link, all the stuff with the
coach.
Yeah, the Larry Nassar. That's his name. Sorry. Yeah. Also on television, Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1 is on Netflix on the 18th. They're breaking it up into 3 sections. The sixth season. There we go. Easy for me to say, right? July 21st, you've got Snowpiercer Season 4 on AMC. And then on the 29th, you've got Futurama Season 8 Part 2 on Hulu. They're breaking up all these seasons now into different sections, Shaw. In the world of sports, in the month of July, you've got Wimbledon from now until the 14th. Lots of tennis. Tennising everywhere.
Olympics.
July 4th, you've got Nathan's hot dog eating contest. That'll be on ESPN2 without Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, some no names.
You said he's taking out a bunch of cops in Nebraska?
In El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to try and out-eat 4 or 5 military service members.
Oh, so I thought they were police officers. Okay. WWE Money in the Bank is on Peacock on the 6th. That'll be this Saturday. Next Saturday, the 13th, is the start of the NBA or the MLB All-Star Weekend. You've got, of course, the game on the 16th, which is that Monday. The 20th is the WNBA All-Star Game on ABC. The Brickyard 400 is on the 21st. And yes, the Olympic Games begin on the 26th and go through August 11th. There is some stuff on the 24th and 25th, but the actual opening ceremonies are on the 26th. Holidays, Shaw. We got a few in the month of July. You might have heard of the one that's happening later this week. It's Independence Day.
Welcome to Earth.
When Will Smith beats up aliens with his bare hands.
Is that what we're celebrating?
That's on Independence Day, Shaw, yes. National Bikini Day is on the 5th, so that's this Friday. This coming Sunday, National Dive Bar Day. One of my favorite things in the world, Shaw, is a good dive bar.
You bet.
July 10th is a Wednesday. It's National Pina Colada Day.
If you like pina coladas, getting caught in the rain.
The following day, on July 11th, is National Mojito Day. So you just had your first one of the summer.
My first one last night.
Homemade, huh?
Yeah, they got their own mint.
So delicious.
So do I. Do you need some? It grows like weeds.
National French Fry Day is on the 12th. Celebrate by eating French fries. National Mac and Cheese Day is on the 14th. National Hot Dog Day on the 17th. National Daiquiri Day on the 19th, Gene. More summery drinks. You've got National Ice Cream Day on the 21st. International Yada 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 Day is on the 23rd.
Listen to this. Marcy comes over and she tells me that her ex-boyfriend was over late last night and yada, 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 I'm really tired today.
What do you think she was tired from?
Well, obviously the yada, yada.
That's on the 23rd, by the way. National Tequila Day is on the 24th. National Chili Dog Day, Hire a Veterans Day, and National Wine and Cheese Day all fall on July 25th.
Sweet berry wine.
Paired with cheese.
National Scotch Day on the 27th.
I love scotch. I love scotch.
I love
scotch.
There it
Here
goes
down into my belly.
And on the 29th, you've got National Lasagna Day. Make it in your mailbox, right? That
No
the deal?
thanks. How hot is it? Not hot enough for me to make a mailbox in my lasagna in my mailbox. Shaw.
Supposedly, Shaw, you cook the ground beef, so that's cooked.
Okay.
But then you do the cheese and the pasta all, and you make the
In my
dish.
mailbox?
And then you put it in the mailbox and let it bake all day. That's how you're supposed to do it when it's really, really hot outside. And there you go. Things to look forward to in the month of July. A couple of big movies. Big sports stuff going on. Obviously, All-Star break. Paris Olympics. They're swimming in the poop water. Are they still supposed to poop in the water on that? The protesters? Did you hear about this?
No.
So a bunch of Paris people are upset that the government is spending all this money to clean up the river for the Olympics.
Sure.
When they think that the money could be spent elsewhere, right? Like better housing for low income families and stuff like that. And so the protest is supposed to poop in the River Seine. I think like to start the Olympics, right, on the 27th.
I
Sounds like a
don't
bad
know if
idea.
it is. Doesn't it?
Yeah. So there's that. I don't know if that'll be on NBC.com or if Snoop's going to narrate that one.
Oh my gosh!
There's going to be some commentators.
I cannot get enough.
Did
of
you
that
see him
guy.
on the steeplechase?
No.
I can't. He ran too.
Well, he narrated he did the call of a steeplechase during some of the Olympic trials. He's like, "Oh, you could jump off that?"
Everything about him at the Olympics.
Yes, please.
Is totally up my aisle. I can't get enough.
We'll get to bad news, happy music the next time we talk to Shaw. Right now, it's Godsmack.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is Godsmack. And Truth. We got some Ashes to New on the way. Rockfest music from them. It's like next week, dude. All right, maybe not next week, but the week after.
Week after.
It's coming.
Oh,
Crazy.
I know.
Buck Wild, dude. Speaking of being buck wild,
Tell me.
the Kyle Filipowski story. Obviously, the NBA draft
Oh, yeah.
was last week,
So this guy.
and he was projected to go in the top 20 by a lot of people. I'm not saying he's the number one prospect, but they were saying he was going to go much higher.
But then I heard he wasn't practicing as much as he should have been or something. But there's a scandal with him and his much older girlfriend who's.
Well, you're 7 feet tall, and that there's not a lot of. I mean, look, a lot of NBA players are tall, but 7'4"
is tall.
You played for Duke, so you played for a premier
name with you,
a premier college, and you also averaged 16 points and 8 rebounds. So that's pretty good. It's not too bad. But he fell, and he fell, and he fell, and he ended up going 32nd overall to the Utah Jazz, which maybe was intended. I don't know. Because apparently he's been getting groomed, allegedly, by this girlfriend of his that may be years older and was his babysitter as well at one point.
According to his family. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah. There's a whole lot of information out there, and a lot of it is, you can take it any way you want, but first reports of something being off in the Filipowski camp. This is kind of like an Aaron Rodgers thing, too, where he doesn't really talk to his family, it seems. Like there's a disconnect.
They haven't talked to him in like 2 years.
Well, and hey, look, as a person who went through that, I'm not going to judge. I get it, right? Family situations can be sticky and difficult. Thursday morning of last week, ESPN draft analyst Jonathan Givony explaining on a podcast, saying, quote, NBA teams are talking about the fact that they had questions about his girlfriend being so much older than him, why he was estranged from his family because of this whole situation. It's a very, very odd situation. I personally don't understand why it would cause him to drop like this into the second round. I mean, yeah, if you're a talented basketball player and you just don't talk to your family and you got a girlfriend that's older than you, it seems like that's not really a problem, right?
I had read something about his practice or his commitment to practicing. I don't know.
Caitlin Hutchinson is her name, referred to as Filipowski's girlfriend, but apparently they got engaged back in April with the intent of getting married this August. He's 20. Filipowski is. Apparently, the woman, the fiance, is 25. So
yeah, that's what much older. I'm like. Yeah,
however, when you start to look back at some of the things, and you start to see that maybe she at one point was his babysitter or caring for him in some way, shape, or form, and then started to sort of groom him towards like this, religion and all this other stuff, and you start to read these stories. Yeah, the internet, of course, starts doing a deep dive on Filipowski and
his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Well, okay, say she's 5-6 years older than him. She's 14, he's 8.
Well, and they're thinking now she might even be older, right? Because they're saying he's 20, she's 25, 5 years difference. But now they're based on some pictures of her graduating and stuff, they're thinking she might be more 27, 28 years old, with her being 6 years removed from college. The prom photo, though, apparently is where people are starting to hang their hat on this being a very odd situation. People combing through social media last week, finding a photo of Filipowski and Hutchinson from his high school prom. The couple together there dated May 21st of 2022. He was born in 2003. At the time of the photo, he was 17. Hutchinson, again, somewhere around 25, 26 years old.
Well, that's a problem. That's a part.
Again, now you're talking 10 years apart, not 5 years apart.
Well,
and you're talking someone who's an adult and someone who's not an adult.
That's bing, 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 bing. That's the part.
Yeah. And apparently became estranged from his family because he was dating her. And then there's, again, more stuff about his brother Daniel, mom Becky on Twitter explaining their side of things. But the rabbit hole is certainly very deep, and there's a lot of twists and turns if you want to follow it down. But this Kyle Filipowski thing is very interesting. Hey, who am I to judge? I became, this guy could be me. Other than not being good at basketball and not being 7 feet tall, I was estranged from my family for a very long time, and I took a 27-year-old stripper to my prom.
I know you did.
And I was 21 at the time. Who am I to judge? I'm not judging. I'm just, people love this stuff. Daniel saying, I'm Kyle's oldest brother. You all don't have a clue to the extent of the story that has to do with his girlfriend. There's a story that has been pushed under the table for nearly 2 years. Lots of people looking to get more answers and get more information, trying to figure it all out.
Sounds like it. Well, yeah, they're saying that he could have been 16 and she would have been 25 in that photo for prom. And, there's something wrong with that. If you flip that around and the relationship is a 16-year-old girl and a 25-year-old guy at prom,
people are going to have a problem.
Yes.
And, again, then you add in the whole religion thing where it's like, is she grooming him to become part of some kind of weird
and
cult?
And a babysitter thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you were taking care of him at 14, 15, and he was 8, then it gets super creepy. Maybe. Potentially. Possibly. Who knows?
At this point, though, the guy's in his 20s. He just got drafted in the NBA. She might be in her mid to late 20s. They can do whatever the hell they want. All I know is that people were very interested in finding out the real details about this story, and it doesn't look like there's a ton of, solid information. I mean, there's a lot of different rumors and things being said, but Kyle Filipowski. The freaking sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We got bad news, happy music coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
On a Monday, during a 3-day week.
Holiday.
We're taking Thursday and Friday off, FYI.
Oh.
In case you didn't know.
I did not.
Sorry I didn't put in teams for you.
We should talk about that, Shaw.
Okay.
We just did.
Well,
just told him. That's it. End of story.
The other responsibilities he has in the building and how that affects him. That's what we're going to talk about. Things Brian doesn't care about, Shaw. That falls under the category of things Brian doesn't care about.
Doesn't involve me?
No, it does not.
You got the day off, Bill.
Then I don't care
Look
about
me
it.
up after 9, okay, Shaw?
All right.
What do we got?
A North Carolina man has been charged with elder abuse and animal cruelty after an elderly woman was found in an uninhabitable residence along with more than 40 feral wolf hybrid dogs believed to have injured her. Investigators learned the elderly woman was living with more than 40 wolf hybrid dogs and had sustained injuries that led to a welfare check. Deputies went inside and found the conditions to be uninhabitable for both people and dogs. The dogs were not social and later determined to be feral. Ultimately, those dogs were euthanized. Deputies arrested Melvin Sonny Berry on 1 count of felony domestic elderly abuse and 20 misdemeanor animal cruelty charges.
Woman alive?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't know the nature of her injuries. It did not say. I'm assuming she was bitten. It says she was injured by the animal, so I would assume that would be the nature of the attack.
Out of harm's way now, though?
Yes. Yes.
Hey.
This is a lot of drugs. Millions of dollars worth of drugs are off California streets after a discovery made during a traffic stop. California Highway Patrol pulled over a car for a traffic violation. Officers say the driver had no license. Before the vehicle was impounded, a canine officer found 262 pounds of crystal meth, 5 pounds of fentanyl powder, and 2 pounds of heroin. They also found suitcases and backpacks in the trunk that contained more drugs. These drugs have an estimated street value of more than $2.6 million. They took a 36-year-old from Portland, Oregon, into custody on various drug charges. Santa Rosa, California, a traffic stop led to a driver wearing a Jason mask being arrested. On Saturday, Santa Rosa officers noticed a Toyota Camry without any headlights or taillights. The driver was wearing a Jason-style face mask. Officers conducted a traffic stop. They referred to the driver as nervous and noticed he was sweating profusely.
How could they tell that with the mask on?
I think it was all over his body.
Dripping around.
Officers located an AR-15 style rifle in the back seat. The gun was unregistered. The driver, a 27-year-old from Santa Rosa, was booked into jail on possession of an assault weapon.
They probably dredged that from a river.
Right, I'm sure
lake
that's what
is where
happened.
they got that.
That's where, Jason is down. That's where Jason is, too. He gets stuck at the bottom of the lake.
And the guns. And
Crystal Lake. He ends up getting chained up down there, and then they got to come and save him, and then he gets back to life and starts murdering teenagers who are having sex at camp and brings his guns with him.
A woman in the UK has been charged with misconduct over a video showing a female prison officer having sex with an inmate in a jail cell.
I watched it, so you don't have to, Sean.
Thank you.
I did the work for you.
Linda de Sousa Abreu is apparently the woman in the video, and she's expected to appear in court in London today. The clip sees the 30-year-old wearing a uniform and begins with her apparently performing a sex act on an unidentified prisoner at the jail in London.
She hawk-tooed on that thing, Shaw.
Okay.
Did she? All right.
Hawk-tooed.
Okay.
While this is happening, another prisoner is filming it on his mobile phone.
Sure is.
At one point, someone appears to try to come into the cell, at which the man filming can be heard saying to the person on the other side of the door, "Give me a minute." The prisoner filming tells his friend to carry on and says, "This is how we roll in Wandsworth," the name of that prison. The woman in the video has now quit her job as a prison officer. More than 8, this is not isolated, by the way. 80 prison staff have been fired or reprimanded since 2013 for having affairs with inmates.
Who's running the asylum?
I don't know.
'Cause
Apparently
isn't
nobody.
OnlyFans. It's run by
That's a
OnlyFans.
lot.
Sounds like
That's
All
a
I know
lot.
is based on the pictures that I saw of her, Shaw, it looks like she'll have a solid career on.
She might make more money in the sex industry.
Some sort of platform, yeah. It looks like she's got the body and the abilities to make money some other way, rather than being a jail guard, which she obviously wasn't very good at.
Right. 5 fishermen in Sri Lanka found a bunch of bottles floating in the ocean hundreds of miles off the coast. They drank them, assuming they were booze, and all of them died. It's still not clear what exactly they drank.
So they just found bottles floating around the ocean.
Yes, correct.
And they just plucked them out of the water and
hoping
said,
it was booze, and it wasn't, apparently.
5 of them.
5 of them, yes.
All right.
A 72-year-old man in Florida got arrested for shooting a Walmart delivery drone out of the sky. He apparently thought it was spying on him.
Well, yeah, of course they were. That's what they do. After they deliver their packages.
After they drop the packages off, they spy on you.
I fired 1 round at it. Now they say I hit it, so I must be a good shot.
Mr. Wynn was defending his property. He felt that this drone was invading his private property. He is a homeowner.
Stand your ground.
I like how he says he was defending his property.
He's a homeowner.
Right.
Really?
That would make it his property.
I didn't figure that out from the first statement about it being his property.
Right. This guy seems like a pretty good friend, but also a pretty big moron. A 32-year-old guy got arrested near New Orleans for identity theft. His real and very unique name is Renanson Parfait.
Bless you.
Yes. He matched the description of someone who'd been using fraudulent credit cards around town, and somebody at a store called it in. Police booked him for identity theft, bank fraud, and other charges. Then later that same day, a friend showed up to bail him out of jail. But the guy wasn't able to because he also got arrested for using a fake ID. He showed cops the fake and claimed his name was Robert Grant, but his real name is Alan Artist. They arrested him for the fake ID.
Not even close.
As well as obstruction of justice and resisting arrest. They think he may have been an accomplice, so he could face additional charges. They found more than 70 bogus credit cards in Parfait's car.
Well, that guy
that's a racket. That's what he's doing over there.
Yep.
Wait, you changed your name to McLovin?
McLovin.
McLovin? What kind of a stupid name is that, Fogel? What, are you trying to be an Irish R&B singer?
Oh, they let you pick any name you want when you get down there.
And you landed on McLovin?
Yeah, I was between that and Muhammad.
Why don't you pick a common name like a normal person?
Muhammad is the most commonly used name on earth.
Fogel, have you ever actually met anyone named Muhammad?
Have you actually ever met anyone named McLovin?
You look like a future pedophile in this picture, number one. Number two, it doesn't even have a first name. It just says McLovin.
What? One name? Who are you, Seal?
Is that the gambit of what they were running? Is that what they were doing, though, there?
Pretty
McLovins?
much, yeah.
All right.
And on the list of things that you hope to never experience, this has got to be near the top of the list. A 55-year-old guy in Philadelphia recently had to go to the ER after a bee stung him directly in the eyeball. The stinger was stuck in it, so doctors tweezed it out. But his eye was still swollen and bloodshot 2 days later, and his vision had gotten worse. So this time he went to an eye specialist.
Yeah,
Gonna
specialist.
Be okay, Gene?
No,
it turned out a small piece of the stinger was still lodged in his eyeball.
You're lodged in your eyeball.
It was so small they could only see it with a microscope and special dye. They had to use something called microforceps to get it out. Then they gave him some special eye drops, and he recovered.
Like baby forceps, only so small for your eyeball?
Microscopic.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They do say that stings to the eyeball are extremely rare.
Yeah,
and only
good.
a handful of cases ever on
That's
record.
great. Good.
Shaw,
I'm glad.
given the choice, eyeball or penis, which one are you taking?
Ooh.
That's a tough one. I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Think about it right now.
I'd like to give that some thought.
Think about it right now. Take the penis, Shaw.
I can't think of anything more scary than the eyeball. I guess.
The bee is coming at you. You got two. You're fully naked.
You twice.
You're fully naked. You got no options. It says, look.
First of all, I'm wearing clothes.
No, you're fully naked, and the bee says to you, look, you've got two options. Which one do you want? You want
right in your eyeball
or
wide
penis?
open?
I think I tell him to head south. Yeah.
Tip of the penis, right there. Bam.
Bam.
Just gets you right at the
That
tip.
feels.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! Oh, my eyes! My eyes! Ah!
No, thank you. Mini forceps.
I'm taking wiener over eyes every time.
I think so.
Any body part except for the eyeball. Up the nose, in the mouth, up the rear end. I don't, whatever.
Ow.
Look,
Big
I'm not
toe.
asking for it here, but I'm just saying, stay away from the eyes, man.
Yeah.
I do not want to have micro forceps.
Taking out a stinger.
Well, they can't put you out for that. You got to be awake and you got to have your eye open. You got to see that thing coming. Eye stuff. No, thank you.
No, thanks.
Shaw said he'd take it in the wiener, too. What about you? You got different lady bits down there. You
I don't want
upstairs
that.
or downstairs?
No, I don't think I could do it in the eyeball.
I had a friend when I was a kid who hang the swimsuit on the line, after you go swimming.
Yeah.
You change, you put your swimsuit out to dry. He went to put it back on, and there was a bee in there. Got him right in the ween. It was hilarious. So funny. Thing was all swollen up and red. We're just making fun of him the whole week. We had all sorts of fun little nicknames for him. Because that's what you do to your friends, Shaw. You humiliate them.
Of course, yes. That's what they're for.
You belittle them. You give them a complex, right? That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you do.
Well, yeah. That's how you know I'm friends. Because I will humiliate you and make fun of you. That's what I do. But I'm your friend.
But, yeah, he's close, Shaw.
I wouldn't waste my time bothering with anybody else, Shaw.
That's true.
Trustworthy.
Save it for those you love.
Exactly. Bad news, happy music. Thanks, buddy. Talk to you tomorrow. Yeah. Never eye. Anything but the eye.
No, I don't. That was terrible sounding.
Rock Mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9. Call.
Hello?
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us.
Check.
We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com. Visit the website for all of our contact info. Got a text earlier this morning from Adam. I was talking about the Lake Henry dredge project in Blair, and they have a 30-day gun raffle. Tickets are $100. Every day of the month of November, they draw another number. That person wins a gun. It's a different gun every day.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was talking about this with my wife yesterday when I was buying the ticket, she thought that they dredged the lake and sold the guns that they found at the bottom of the lake for the gun raffle.
Which
is not exactly how
crazy.
It all goes down. I didn't say it was crazy. Anyways. Got a text from Adam who said, just remember, American gun owners make the worst boat captains. I guess I had never really heard any of these stories / rumors or memes or jokes or whatever they are.
But there's a bunch of them now? Is that what you're saying?
Well, Josh emailed and said every time that there's a government threat about gun regulations, people joke about how they lost all their guns in a boating accident. So then the government won't come looking for them, or so they think.
I get it now.
Yeah. If the government wants to come looking for guns, best of luck to them. Cheryl texted in and said, I got stung in the boob once.
Yep. My daughter got stung like a bunch. We were swimming in, and she jumped off of a thing, and it went down like this, and she closed her arm, and it went under her armpit, and boom, 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 like a whole bunch underneath it. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, I ran over a nest in the ground with a mower one time.
Yes, ground wasps.
And it got me...
multiple times.
I almost got it in the eye because I didn't know I had run over it until I saw it crawling on the inside of my sunglasses. It was like right up near your eye, and I went like this, and I started
and then
freaking
they were
out.
all over.
And then I jumped off the mower and I started to run back towards my truck. I was, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred yards away, and I got hit in the back, like on my neck. I actually got hit right by my eye, like over on the corner here. And then once in the back of the leg, but I was able to run away and get away from
Get in the truck.
Yeah.
Oof.
Rude Dog, born on this day in 1972. Happy birthday, Neil. Said, thanks for being my favorite morning show. Wants to hear some Tesla. Try to get to that after 9 o'clock. Thank you very much, Rude Dog. Thank you for all the correspondence. Good to hear from you guys. Again, visit rockmornings.com to get in touch with us. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.